Hi friend. I'm Olivia Smith. Thanks for visiting my YouTube channel where I share the latest global news every day. You can also read more news on TimeGlitter.com. You can find all the links in the video description below. In case the link isn't working, simply copy and paste the link into your web browser, hit enter, and you're good to go. Now let's jump into today's news headline. Britain's deep state thwarted my plans, Liz Truss tells US hard, right summit. News details. Former British Prime Minister Liz Truss spoke at a conference in America on Wednesday. She presented herself as a champion of the people who challenged powerful forces within her own country, similar to what some call the deep state in the US. Truss was one of the main speakers at this week's Conservative Political Action Conference, CPAC, in Maryland. CPAC is known as a big gathering of conservative voices in the U.S., but lately it's been leaning towards the nativist-populist views associated with Donald Trump. During the conference's opening session, called an international summit, Truss sat alongside Nigel Farage, the former leader of the Brexit Party, both displaying small Union flags on their table. Other speakers included Steve Bannon, known for his ties to far-right movements worldwide, and Richard Grenell, who served as an intelligence official under Trump. Representatives from countries like Australia, Hungary, and Japan also participated. The moderator introduced Truss by likening her to Margaret Thatcher, saying her election in Britain was celebrated by conservatives in the U.S. as if Thatcher had returned. Once again, Liz Truss, who was prime minister for only 50 days, talked about how she felt targeted by bureaucracy. She explained, "I entered office in 2022 because Britain wasn't progressing, the government wasn't effective, and we needed change." Truss wanted to lower taxes, reduce government bureaucracy, and honor the promises made during the Brexit vote. However, she faced strong opposition, much of it from within the government itself. Truss explained that in the past 30 years, power has shifted from elected officials to quasi-non-governmental organizations, or quangos, as she called them. In America, this might be referred to as the administrative or deep state. Truss pointed out that Britain has over 500 of these quangos, which control various aspects of governance. She listed examples like the Environment Agency, Office for Budget Responsibility, Bank of England, and Judicial Appointments Commission. Truss argued that these entities, which she dubbed the economic establishment, resist change because they benefit from the current system. They don't prioritize the well-being of ordinary citizens and resist giving up their power. Truss emphasized that conservatives face a challenge in pushing for their policies because this entrenched establishment opposes change. Merely expressing desires to control borders, lower taxes, or reform welfare isn't enough when there are powerful groups invested in maintaining the status quo. Truss became prime minister after winning a contest in the Conservative Party to replace Boris Johnson. However, her plan to boost the economy with a mini-budget, which included £45 billion, $54 billion in tax cuts without funding, caused instability in financial markets and led to her quick downfall. At the CPAC event, Truss's speech was followed by Steve Bannon, who in 2017 promised that President Trump would relentlessly battle to dismantle the administrative state. Bannon warned of a continuous struggle against this bureaucratic system, likening it to a fierce war. Bannon, a former head of Breitbart News linked to the alt-right movement known for its racist and anti-Semitic views, emphasized the need to dismantle what he called the out-of-control fourth branch of government, which he argued the country's founders never intended. Trump's allies are reportedly planning to reduce the independence of federal agencies and remove protections for many federal employees, aiming to drain the swamp in his second term. Groups like the Heritage Foundation are gearing up for the next conservative presidency under Project 2025, which involves figures like Truss and British conservative Ian Duncan Smith. CPAC promoted its inaugural international summit as an opportunity to share strategies against what they see as a globalist takeover of nations. This year's CPAC speakers include Trump, Truss, Nigel Farage, and Argentine President Javier Milei, known for his libertarian views. Past conferences featured speakers like Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban and former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro. Truss's book, 10 Years to Save the West, was advertised prominently at the CPAC venue, along with a book by Tucker Carlson, a former Fox News host who recently conducted a flattering interview with Russian leader Vladimir Putin. Don't forget to hit the like button, drop a comment, share with others, and subscribe